most major purchases, and then homeowners would only see a rise in their city portion of their property tax if their value went up. I think that's a reasonable way of looking at it.
Which would be the typical outcome.
Now, a typical outcome is the city raises taxes and debt, and it hits your property taxes, and you don't really pay too much attention to what an individual strike is going to look like. But there's a ways that we can look at that as we go forward, because we want to understand those impacts before we make those tough decisions. If we find that moving the strike 1 or 2 percentage points gets us to a certain place to do something that we really need to do, council can make that decision. If you choose not to, then we can hold the line. We'll just have to delay or find other financing options for projects and things.
When do you plan on starting to work on it?
The labor folks are meeting this week, I believe, and we'd like labor. Well, the union folks are meeting.
The union.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so once they have that ready, then we'll meet with them, and we'll start in late August, early September with a preliminary budget. We'll set that in September, and then go to work, paring it down throughout the rest of the fall and early winter, and certify it by the end of December.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All opposed? And the motion passes. Let's move on to 8B, consideration of trade-in of a 5-year-old Case 621D wheel loader for a new Case 621E wheel loader from Titan Machinery through the State of Minnesota purchasing venture. Delivery could be expected in November 2011, with a one-half payment due at that time and remaining half due in 2012. See attached specifications and staff reports.
I wanted Jeff to be here. This has been a public works project. We've involved all of the staff, the operators, to look at this piece of equipment. When we first heard of the budget shortfall, it kind of like, well, let's just not get this. It'll solve a lot of our problems. But there's a couple of reasons that we think that we should move forward with this loader. One of them is the replacement vehicle. If we don't order it this year, I think is it the 2012 model? There's some issues with it that we really don't think is in our best interest as a city.
The Tier 4, yeah.
Tier 4, emotions.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We did a lot of work on this. Steve and I went back and forth. This I dealt with St. Joe's, which is now called Titan, which is, you and I know it as St. Joe's. The first negotiation we did was unacceptable. We went back and we sat them down and said, no, we want more for our machine. We got more for our machine. This is what we came up with. This is actually a really good machine. It falls into the Tier 3 rating yet. If you don't know what the Tier 4 rating is, it's coming out in August, the end of August or September. It means you basically have to put a diesel fuel grade fuel into the exhaust system, and it has to burn this fuel through the exhaust to meet the emissions. Very expensive. What we can do by buying this machine now is we buy ourselves 5 years. Now, is that like, well, you're going to eventually have to have that Tier 4? No, because in 5 years, the engines change every 6 months. So hopefully we won't ever get into this fuel wasted exhaust burning Tier 4 system. Hopefully it'll wake up and realize that's a waste of money. We negotiated it out. It winds up being a $52,000 machine. We can make the payments, like Steve said, we can make the payments in January, and they'll deliver in November. We'll have to take our first payments on delivery.
Right.
And then our second half payment will be in January 2012, which we can look at budget at that time. The reason the LGA cut didn't include this machine, this is a 5-year machine that we held that we normally do every 2 years. We purposely held it for 5 years because of the last LGA budget cuts. we're at the point now where the 5-year warranty is gonna end by September, and when this machine breaks down, this costs us thousands of dollars to repair. So far, we haven't had to pay a lot of money because we had the warranty. There is a warranty issue here on 9.14, which is $3,909 that I would have to, not have to pay for now in this payment, but I would have to pay for it in the January payment. It just buys me a couple extra months, is all it does.
Couple extra months?
Couple extra months. We have to buy it. The
Before
warranty
you have
has,
to pay for it.
Yeah,
yes, the warranty has to be paid for at the final purchase price.
he's letting us push it off to
Oh.
to next year,
Correct.
yeah.
So the warranty is 5-year, 4,000 hours?
Yes,
Okay.
How many hours do we have on this machine, Jeff?
about 2,700.
So 5 years down the road, we're not over
Not
our
over.
hours by any means. What's the annual, what's not covered by maintenance that we have coming up on our machine?
Well, tires are normally not covered by maintenance, normal wear and tear. One of the things coming on that would be under warranty are the brakes. And I don't know if you've heard it around town, but when you step on the brakes, they,
Or still?
you know, remember, this vehicle went through, was brand new and went through the flood. So this is one of the last vehicles we own, other than Dave's truck, that did go through the flood. And, actually, I think the 450, the 1-ton, that's also went through the flood. But, so we're right down to very few vehicles left that went through the flood. And then the flood waters on this machine are showing up.
AM, FM radio?
Well, it's better than, what's that?
I wanted satellite, but they would,
Serious?
We did have that choice, and we said, no, we better not.
And this ride control for 1,800, what,
Very,
it just
very
makes you more
important.
comfortable when you're
Very
driving?
important, so you don't,
Worth every penny on
Shake you to
on
death.
one of them things.
I will tell you that we did drop the air conditioning that was offered, we did drop it. What am I adding? What is on here that you're looking for that might be gravy? I'm doing a coupler quick attach that we've never had before. We own a bucket, it's a snow bucket. Right now we have to completely rebuild the bucket in order to make a snow bucket. We have a snow bucket, we can put the quick attach plate on it. And it makes it much simpler to do our job and much faster. Why is that important? We have a normal dirt gravel bucket that is converted into a snow bucket. When we need to go to the compost site or somewhere and do some heavy work during the snow periods, we destroy our bucket. We have to rebuild it soon after we get done. This eliminates that extra cost to redo that bucket. It's a little more expensive up front, but once we have it, it's more valuable in the end for trading. So I'm looking at 5 years down the road.
Out of curiosity, what did one of those tires cost for that loader?
$1,250 a piece.
You know, to spend?
That's not mounted.
It's just the tire.
That's just the tire.
It's just a tire.
and that was one of the sticking prices that Jeff kept shoving back in the salesman's face, so that, hey, this vehicle you're getting from us has got brand new tires, we want more credit on the tires. We had that guy spinning around, I didn't think I was gonna get a pen out of him, we were so cheap to him, but, I thought we struck a pretty fair bargain. We did very well for the city. Like I said, the difficulty was getting this at the same time that we found out that we had this shortfall, and we could eliminate 2/3 of the shortfall just by not getting this piece of equipment, but, sometimes you just have to stay the course. It just makes too much sense to not go through with the program.